Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines, coming to you from the West Coast. Josh Lander, joined as always by my guy Nate Weitzer, holding it down on the East Coast, and we are looking at tonight's Thursday night NBA slate here as we roll on. This video is for the Phoenix Suns hosting the Houston Rockets. Some best bets we like in there. As always, Nate does have a phenomenal article up on playpicks.com. Make sure you check that out as well. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area. Nate, let's jump into that Rockets and Suns game.
Yeah, this one's holding steady at Suns minus 10.5 with a total of 218. The other four games on tonight's slate have been fluctuating a little bit. At least one team on a back-to-back in three of those, which would explain why we don't know who's going to play. Starting with the Sixers, minus 5.5 at Pistons, because Embiid could always sit there. The Jazz, with Gobert out and Mitchell questionable, are minus 1.5 at the Hawks, who are on a back-to-back. The Celtics on their back-to-back, plus 6 at Miami. We're going to have a separate episode about that one. And then the Thunder are plus 13 at the Lakers after stunning LA last week. I don't think that we will see lightning strike twice there, nor do I think that the Rockets are going to pull out this win in Phoenix. But 10 points, always a bit dicey, so I think we're looking at some different angles to try to get some value from Phoenix. The first thing that stands out to me is just banking on the Phoenix defense, which has really turned a corner in their last two games, holding the Pelicans and the Cavs to about combined 32% shooting from three, held both teams to 100 points or less. The Rockets, who are just basically letting Jalen Green and Kevin Porter throw up whatever they want all game, playing at a fast pace, but absolutely no efficiency. So I think, with neither of those guys shooting even 34% from the field, I don't think that they're going to get to their team total of 104 in this matchup. So that would be my starting point. I'd consider this, teasing the Suns down. Of course, I think they could definitely win this game by 6 or more. I think they could win this game by 20 or more. You look at the Rockets, they haven't played the best competition other than the Jazz, which was a 31-point loss, and that was at home, going into Phoenix for a team that, again, is starting to hit the gas pedal. There were some early season issues with Booker coming off a COVID spell, DeAndre Ayton having contract negotiations. I think they've kind of put that stuff aside and they're ready to go out and play basketball. CP3 setting the tone, as always, with 18 dimes in his last game. I think we trust that man, who is the most reliable against the spread over the last few seasons, no matter where he's playing, and helped Phoenix go 28-14 against the spread when they were favored at home last year.
Yeah, and the reason that there's hesitancy on my part to take Phoenix, obviously that spread is huge, and they haven't really played well this season. You're definitely arriving early at the turning point for the Suns, assuming that they're going to turn things around. Like you said, it's been a lot of their team, their roster not being available at the beginning of the season to a degree. DeAndre Ayton is also questionable for tonight's game, and Cameron Payne has already been ruled out. So a few things that are banging that are sort of holding them back in terms of who's actually playing for them. But this, to your point, this Rockets team is not very good. It was a really incredible way that they kept that game to about 2 points against the Lakers the other night. But if you were watching, Jalen Green put up a bunch of floater threes that went in at the end to keep it close. There was some Kevin Porter that maybe they moved the ball well. I will say that. But the problem with tonight's game for them specifically is what they do on the road doesn't really lead to any kind of wins. They are covering on the road a little bit better this season than you might expect. They're playing defense better than you might expect. But this is a game where I do think we see Phoenix get right, and Houston, their success, last season and this season is often against bad teams, that they do come and they bring it in a way that they're like, oh, this is a game that I might be able to win. And they come with it. after that heartbreaking loss to the Lakers the other night, where they brought it all and they thought they had it. I don't see them. I see them having a pretty big letdown tonight, actually. So I'm actually feeling pretty good about a parlay in this one to just take that money line for the Suns and the under 218.5 and get plus 125 on your money. I love those odds over at FanDuel there. So feeling pretty good about that one. The team total for Houston, also feeling pretty good about taking the under there. But I'm not really worried about the team total or the total of the game, because I think even if the Suns score about 115 tonight and come out of their offensive lackluster beginning of the season, I could still see Houston scoring 102 points. So the under still feels really good, but the team total under for Houston as well. Not scared by that at all.
Yeah, and let's dive a little deeper into the numbers there. Houston, despite playing at the fastest pace in the league on the road, is 26th in field goals made. So how are they getting any points? They're getting 30% of their points off turnovers or free throws. That's not going to cut it against the Suns, who give up the second fewest free throws and allow the fourth fewest steals. As I mentioned, Chris Paul really taking care of the ball lately. I don't expect them to commit some boneheaded turnovers that get the Rockets going, that make them feel, to your point, like this young team can compete against the reigning Western Conference champions. I think they can take their heart early, and you might be surprised that they do cover 10 points. But yeah, I like kind of combining it, either teasing it, combining with the under, or just going straight money line with the Suns with some of the other games you like tonight. If you parlay 2 or 3 together, like the Lakers, I don't think there's any chance they lose against the Thunder after what happened with LeBron back, and parlay with maybe the Sixers as well. If Embiid is playing, you can get up to plus money there if you use enough games.
Yeah, I think, keeping it pretty simple, maybe parlaying a couple money lines of these giant spreads on a small slate, right? We often look for ways to combine a couple things when we've got these games with some big favorites playing some pretty, low level teams there, including, like you said, the Thunder at Lakers and Rockets at Suns. So you've got 2 home teams with 2 of the best teams in the West. And we're both basically saying, let's go ahead and get ahead of the curve here in terms of the Lakers turning things around for their season, which they started to do with a victory the other night, and the Suns as well. So, feeling pretty good about 2 money line parlays there. Would love to see if Embiid plays before I take the Sixers on the road in Detroit, even though Detroit has continued to allow us to win some money when they're at home playing a good team. See the Bucks the other night. So that is all the time that we have for this one. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. We'll be continuing to bring you all these. Got another video up for you today, including the C's and the Heat, and then a player props video, as we have for you every single day of that week. And until we see you next, happy betting.